Planes, trains, and automobiles are the name of the game for an avid Pasadena collector who's working to preserve the history of transportation.
So in 2000, our nonprofit foundation, the Mount Low Preservation Society, began with collectibles and antiques and images of the Mount Low Railway, which existed in our local mountains from 1893 to 1936. When Henry Huntington purchased that line in 1902 and incorporated it into the Pacific Electric Railway, we grew exponentially and we inherited the archives of the Pacific Electric Railway Historical Foundation. From there, we've grown to the Southern Pacific, the Santa Fe, the Union Pacific, and now bus collections and antique automobiles, and it has just kind of blown exponentially. So we have over 500,000 images in our collection. We've got a 7,500 book library. We've got in excess of 20,000 three-dimensional smalls. So I'd say pretty much we have anything you can think of that pertains to local Southern California history. The ties to Pasadena in our collection are, of course, the Mount Low Railway from the San Gabriel Mountains, which are just directly north of Pasadena itself. The Pacific Electric Railway, which had 1,100 miles of track in 4 counties, Pasadena was a hub for that. So we've had many cars that have gone through the Pasadena area, Pacific Electric Railway, the Santa Fe Railway, of course, with the Pasadena train depot that has been reiterated into a restaurant at this point in time. Metro coming through now in modern times, kind of using some of the same right-of-ways that were used before. So it all kind of ties in together. Pasadena itself was kind of a front runner, kind of the San Francisco of the South, as you were. We wanted to legitimize what we were doing here in the 1880s, and it just kind of morphed. So we always had some of the first trains, some of the first automobiles, even had airports in our local area. So it was all about something that was really kind of local and romantic here. Being a collector, starting out at a very young age, growing up at the beach as I did, it started out with rocks and shells. As I got a budget, it became stamps and coins, and as I got a driver's license, it became about cars. But it was always about transportation. It was always about what could I fly in, what could I ride in, what could I drive, and that included trains, Goodyear blimp, antique aircraft, World War II vintage aircraft, anything. So it's always been anything that moves, all sorts of transportation. And when you collect things like that, one thing leads to another. It starts out as a model when you're a kid, and then if you're lucky enough and savvy enough, you get one of the real ones, and it just kind of morphs until it gets out of control, as it has done here. It's just because I loved looking at it. It just was pleasing to the eye. No, I'm not a big road trip guy. My wife hates to drive in cars and go anywhere. We didn't do that as a family growing up. I'm an only child. But it was just always something. It was the love of the advertising. It was the music that went with it. It was the styling that was influenced by anything that was going on of the day. Anything from World War II and fins on planes to fins on cars to the space race. It pretty much all kind of morphs together. And anything that's aesthetic, from Art Deco to Art Moderne, it could be anything. People ask me all the time, how do you find this stuff? Well, in the old days, we used to go to flea markets all the time. PCC was, of course, one of the great ones. My wife and I would get up and go to antique malls after the flea markets. And over time, you begin to be known as a certain individual that looks for certain types of things. The goal is to pay off the building, be able to make it ADA compliant, have everybody be able to come here and have special displays at certain times and have everybody enjoy it. But if that doesn't happen for the near term, we have the ability to digitize and list things on our websites, and not only books at Golden West Books, but also some of the things, the archive photos, Pacific Electric Railway Historical Foundation. We've got about 8,000 images of the Pacific Electric Railway. You can look at it from the comfort of your own home in your PJs if you want to. So getting the stuff seen and shared is key for the existence of this collection. So as a collector, I think the thing that I enjoy most is seeing people's reactions when they get to see it for the first time. I've been around this a long time, and I get excited when I see things that I've never seen before. And that's how I know that has to be part of this collection. I've never seen this. I get excited like a little kid at Christmas. So when I can bring that same surprise or serendipity to people who come and visit, whether it's at the Pasadena Museum of History, we loan things to Huntington Library as well. So there are a lot of things that we put out there. To see somebody smile, they go, oh my gosh, I've never seen this before. This is amazing. Where did you find it? Great conversation starter, and usually people are really sucked into what I'm doing, and at that point in time, we are building a broader base of people who will appreciate local history, who will embrace it, and then start looking for the history within their own families as well.